Let's get them started in 3, 2, 1, Tetris. I should ask Scout if he'll let me sell his shirt with that jacked up stencil ready on it. You think he'd let me? I don't know. I'll ask for permission. All right, we are underway, folks, here in the sky-colored bracket. This is the one where Armstrong and Jordan play. And the winner of this takes on iBall, and then the winner of that takes on Fractal. So Fractal stands as sort of the Iron Chef of the sky bracket. On the left side, it is Armstrong. He qualified into seed number 37 with an average of his best 3 games played in a 90-minute qualifying period of 1.18 million. Has a PB of 1.38 million. Played in Mega Masters in 2023 and is a winner of a Futures Circuit. That was September 2024. And a Hopeful Circuit. That was January 2023. I think Armstrong also won a community tournament back in the day. Also played in Gold in CTWC in 2023 and 2024. So also played at the WPL Columbus Regional, whatever it is, the last 2 years, and also played in Philly last year. So Armstrong getting out to those live events. On the right side, it is Jordan, not Czar Jordan, but Small Jordan. They got 2 prominent Jordans in the community. We have a small one and a Czar one. This is the SMOL Jordan. He won a community tournament back in January 2021 and another one in March of 2024. Played in CTWC in the first online year in 2020 and in the first year back from the pandemic in 2022. Also played in Silver in 2021. That was the online year. Also played in the Arizona event in 2023 and 2024. I don't know if he was there in this year. That just happened this past weekend, so I didn't know. I didn't get a chance to watch that whole thing, but usually if people go, they go, but sometimes they can't. It happens. 219 here for Armstrong. 267 for Jordan. Played in 2019 as well. Oh, what, CTWC or Arizona? Barrett in here with the facts. Phoenix. Yeah, one thing I've noticed is Liquipedia does not have some of the regionals from 2019. Like, it doesn't have the Southern qualifier that I ran in Irving, Texas, the one where Matt Martin won that one, and that was his first Tetris tournament ever. That's not in there. I guess that Phoenix one isn't in there either, unless I missed it. So you got some backfilling to do over on Liquipedia, but they do a great job over there. I mean, I use that thing all the time. So it'd be good to have some of those things filled out if there's, editors. I think there's a Liquipedia Discord and a Tetris section for that. 280 for Jordan, 358 for Armstrong. There is a Centerwell Tetris, really column 7 for Jordan. Vandy, what is your longest single live stream and what is your busiest live stream day? I don't know the difference between those two, but there's, longest doing CTM stuff. I mean, we've done 10-hour streams in the early days. We did a 32 player bracket all in one stream. Took 10 hours. Right now, 32 players would take, 30 hours. So, that shows you how quickly those matches were ending. Plus, they were best of 3. 411 for Armstrong, 396 for Jordan. And as far as busiest, like most matches, got to be those early ones. But today's pretty busy day. I think we're going to end up doing about 5. Let's see, we had 2 hours so far of this. Like 2 hours or an hour and a half of Nestris.org. An hour and a half before that. So it's going to end up being about, 6 hours, something like that. That's no problem. Honestly, I could do this all day. 443 for Jordan. I also had some very long days doing CTWC because usually Anyway, well, by the way, there's a Tetris match going on. 484 for Armstrong, 465 for Jordan. 2 lines apart. But for CTWC, whenever I did commentary, usually I'd be manning that station all day. So those were some pretty long days of live commentary. But I have, like, I gotta be honest, I have an infinite energy for this. Like, I could do this forever. I mean, the quality will suffer, not that there's much quality anyway. But I have, like, an infinite energy to do this. 535 for Jordan, 532 for Armstrong. Yeah, it was Irving. It was in 2019. There was a Retro Fest that used to, I don't know if it's still there, but that was there. 564 for Jordan, 579 for Armstrong. Jake Stein was there. Josh Tolles was there. All the stars were there. All right, board starting to climb on 19 for Armstrong. Looking to wait. Oh, no, the bar's going to hang. That's going to be a top out for Armstrong on 19 at 582, and Jordan is good in game number 1. Whoops, I've done that. See, this is what I'm talking about. I changed the round instead of the score. This is what I'm saying. 3-2-1 Tetris. Montreal was a pretty long day last year when I did the Montreal regional. I did comms for that. I did it pretty much solo, except for a few intrusions, and pretty much solo. And that was a long day, but I don't know. I am up for this stuff, you know. What spreadsheet / practice do you have that you would recommend to other tournament organizers? I'm not great with spreadsheets, but I do use a spreadsheet to do my prep for my facts. If you're on the Patreon, you do have access to my prep sheet. I don't mind sharing it, but you know, I keep all my prep in there, and then when it's a new month, most of the stuff could just be pasted over to the new month, and it just keeps it all very organized, and I can hide and remove cells as players get eliminated or if they're not playing that day, and it's but I don't do anything super complicated, and it's pretty janky, and I can automate more if I knew more. 127 for Armstrong, 148 for Jordan. Javin T says that prep sheet is outstanding. I gotta, you know, it just hit me one day, like, you know, like a lot of these streams and my streams and everybody's streams are just, all right, let's do this match. Here are 2 people you don't know, and they're playing Tetris, and why should anyone care? It was kind of like if you step back and look at it, but if you can at least give some history around the people, stats that are relevant, what they've done, who they are. And there's no way I can expect that I'm going to remember all that because I have a poor memory. So just to have all that information there at hand, it's like it's good. And I guess what I'm starting to see is other people are kind of doing the same thing now, where they're starting to give a little more context around who these players are, what they've done, stuff in the past. And when I've seen it, I've enjoyed it. 264 for Armstrong. So if I'm having an influence in that, I'm happy to have that influence. 287 for Armstrong, 269 for Jordan. You write it in a physical notebook? Yeah, Arbar, I'll give you my link to my sheet. It's nothing special, but at least it gives me a way to structure the information. Color code it, hide it when it's not needed. And then I just keep all the previous tabs. And then if someone, you know, is in the next month, I can just copy most of the information, a couple little edits, and it works. 339 for Jordan, 342 for Armstrong. Oh, you found it? Yeah, it's nothing special, but it's like my other thing. And then, you know, I used to run all the brackets back in the day on spreadsheets. 366 through Armstrong, 385 through Jordan before we had this great, you know, website implementation that Dex4 and Professor L made. All the brackets were on like Google Sheets, and then I would just use those as, you know, browser sources in OBS. And I got away from that after we did the, you know, we got the site, but I've started to incorporate some of that back. You'll see like the schedule, you know, done as a browser source that I can just screen cap and then put into my pre-roll. 421 for Armstrong, 403 for Jordan. You know, the little slide of historical results. Like, obviously, that's a spreadsheet. And then I just make that look good in OBS and then screenshot that in OBS and then pop that into the, you know, slides. So I've been incorporating that back in a little bit, where I wasn't doing that for years. 475 for Jordan, 480 for Armstrong. Yeah, no problem, Arbaro. 498 for Jordan, 503 for Armstrong. But it's all very sloppy. It's all my own, you know, arcane code and, you know, condensation of information. It wouldn't necessarily make sense to anyone else, although they could decode it, but... All right, Jordan going to tuck that square and place a long bar into column 9 to get Tetris ready. Gets the Tetris. We're into 19. Armstrong in at 574. Jordan is in at 568. I think we had another contribution to the prize pool, by the way, that I missed earlier, so I want to make sure I don't forget that. That was Kip, and that was $30. So thank you, Kip. I missed that before. Kip says Stefan sucks. All right. Thank you, Kip. I really appreciate that. Players do too. 628 for Armstrong, 671 for Jordan. Armstrong, 683, 699. Jordan. Jordan's board's got gaps. Needs a bar to the left, gets it. Needs a bar down, gets it. 728 Jordan. Now he's in cleanup mode, sort of at the bottom of the stack. It's not super high. It's dealable with, but it's going to slow him down a little bit. Armstrong, if he can dig out of this very quickly, might be able to get a lead. But Jordan going to get that dirty Tetris along the way to help his pace, you know, kind of help maintain his pace. Armstrong gets one too. 747 for him, 768 for Jordan. Now Armstrong, long bar gets over. That's a Tetris. He's got a gap there in column 1. He's got to burn that away. He's done it. Now he's going to try to uncover the Tetris well. 782 for him. He's in a temporary. He's in a lead. I don't know if it's temporary, but he just got into the lead. Not to say that it's temporary. Listen, it's late, guys. I don't know what I'm saying. All right, 844 for Armstrong. Tetris for Jordan. You know, Jordan has to get ahead, though, to make me correct. There's another... long bar hang on column 9 for Jordan, but he gets another one to clean it up. 869 for him. Oh, he's got a miss with the J piece. Jordan gets a bar in there to bring that down. 878 for Jordan. 912 for Armstrong. Level 26. There's a skim Jordan. Tetris for both. Armstrong ahead by 36,000 points. Same line count. 18 lines to go until 29. If I've missed anything on YouTube, my apologies. Sometimes I have to close that tab because that YouTube page is very resource intensive for some reason. 5,000 points apart, same line count. Jordan gets a Tetris. Armstrong gets one. Vandy, do you remember that one match where you predicted the future? I mean, the future is not hard to predict, generally. You know? But I do remember that one. That's going to be a top out for Armstrong at A42, and Jordan is good with the 1.1. Armstrong feeling that one. Jordan, you are good in game number 2. Do you mean the one where it was me and Harry Hong and I predicted when Joseph got to like level 34 or whatever it was, and I predicted that would be commonplace? Like, I don't know, anybody who's not just a total cynic could have told you the same thing. Anyone who didn't have like a vested interest in level 30 being impossible could have told you the same thing. All right, Jordan mullining it out because he's got a PB of 1.37, so he could potentially get a PB here, and he's just on fire. B98, that's a 1.1 million. Long bar, is going to hang. Oh, let's see if he can get another one. He's still got a shot, but he had some give-up energy. Nope. That's going to be a top out for Jordan. Never give up until you're topped out. Game number 3, Jordan up 2 games to none. Armstrong needs to win to continue. 3-2-1 Tetris. I mean, look how much time has just been saved. Probably not much because we would have noticed, but sometimes we don't notice. Sometimes we don't notice. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out. Crazy to see 130 viewers. You know, it's 10 p.m. Europe is asleep. You know, sane people in the U.S. are asleep. So thanks all for hanging out. 21 followers away from 10,000. And I guess I have never really been one for these like milestone streams, but it's been a grind to get to this 10,000 followers. I honestly thought we would have had it a couple years ago, but it's been a real grind. So maybe we will do some sort of celebration stream, or maybe we'll start out at like 8 hours and you can do stuff to extend the stream. I don't know. Thanks, Vizamp and Corsu, for following. Appreciate that. All right, Jordan up near the top of the board. It's going to be tricky business here. He's open on the right side. The long bar gets over with the roll. 126 for Jordan. The survival. 147 Armstrong. Long bar gets in. Boring Tetris, but boring Tetrises are just as good as exciting ones. Remember, the winner of this takes on iBall in the next match. iBall is waiting patiently. And thanks again, iBall. I really appreciate your willingness to wait it out. And also to these players, we did go a little long by about a half hour in the red bracket. Not good time management. I thought maybe there'd be some chance that we could just, you know, skate past the poor time management there, but I guess we are. I guess we're doing it at Armstrong's and Jordan's expense and eyeballs. It's like, yes, the consequences don't accrue to me. Perfect. All right, Tetris for Jordan, 273. Yeah, make other people suffer for my mistakes. Perfect. Okay, Jordan is set up dirty, high on the board. See how long he's going to try to keep this open. Yeah, that bar comes as a troll. And yeah, just as he covers it, the bar comes. Well, he set up again, and he cannot wait very long for this one. Can he even get out of this? Wow, 290. Oh no, Jordan. He is fighting so hard right now. Digging up just in the top like 6 lines of the board there. He's still alive. My goodness. That's going to be a top out at 296 for Jordan. He fought hard, but just too high on the board too long, and then like one little misdrop and it spirals from there. Armstrong, you are good in game number 3. Game number 4, Armstrong and Jordan. 3, 2, 1, Tetris. Okay, we are underway. Game number 4. Players scoring their Tetrises. Tomorrow, just to give you a sense of what is going on, we do have 3 streams tomorrow. Right now, let's see, it's 10 p.m. We've got a match, a bracket, the Lavender bracket, 11 a.m. Central Time. That should be 1600 UTC. And that should be Zempro, Hepta, and Sunny. So that should be an interesting one. And then we've got just a solo match at 4 p.m. That's just round 1 of the Tawny bracket. Leave it to the Tawny bracket, guys, to be the only bracket that we couldn't schedule 2 matches for. Like, they had to split it up. Of course, it's the Tawny bracket. Should have known. 140 for Armstrong, 182 for Jordan. That's going to be Bisbee versus Jakob. And then 9:30 p.m. That's going to be the Navy bracket. AV Geek versus Dylan, a.k.a. Answer to Question Dylan. The other Dylan is right here. The winner versus Sodium. So kind of spread out throughout the day. And then we got 2 more on Friday. One on Friday, 2 on Saturday. And then 3 on Sunday. You keep forgetting which one is Dylan and which one is Dylan. Yeah, Dylan is Answer to Question, right? And then Dylan is Armstrong, right? Easy. One is pronounced with an I and one is pronounced with a Y. Yeah, exactly. So easy. 248 for Armstrong, 289 for Jordan here in game 4. Dylan looking to force a decider. Shout out to Crinkle for scheduling Mint and Green top 32. Yeah, those are also scheduled for... Well, one of them's next weekend. I don't know when... Green and Mint. Yeah, Green and Mint is one bracket. Exactly. Yeah, so those are 3 matches long. That is next Saturday, 1 p.m. Meme versus Bland, Andy versus Neko, winners versus winners. Green Mint. $363 Armstrong, $347 Jordan. All right, 375 for Jordan, 387 for Armstrong. And Armstrong has about 10 lines in hand and only backed by 9,000 points. So and now Armstrong with that real-time lead. And yeah, that real-time lead keeps flopping back and forth between these two. But Dylan, you know, anywhere between 5 and 10 lines behind right now anyway. The Vits for Jordan. What am I love it. I do way too many Vitses. Tetris for both. 482 Armstrong, 467 Jordan. The Vits. Try doing Vits on puzzles. Yeah, puzzles does not want your Vits. It does not want them. But that's how you know puzzles is wrong. It has no swag coefficient in the thing. Like, you should be able to add, like, you know, a couple of percent for swag and see how it changes the placement selection there. Well, that's true. Vance is right. There have been a few puzzles where Vitz is right. That is true. 562 for Jordan. He's on 19. Gaps in the stack. 538 for Armstrong. Tetris in. 562. So they're both in at 562. But Armstrong with the better board is going to enable him to Tetris right after entry into 19. Man, he is still clean, whereas Jordan still digging a bit and climbing. This is going to be tough. And Jordan going to top out 571. Armstrong good in game number 4. We are going to a decider. All right, and you get the D in your name for having a D in your name. Well, I guess if we had Dylan's entire name on there, we could put it on there, but it's not going to fit. It's a decider. The winner of this moves on to round 2 in 3, 2, 1 Tetris, and somehow I deleted the round signifier. There it is. All right, level 18, 130 lines until really it seems like 19 is the critical level here in round 1 throughout these matches. You know, players coming in, you know, for the most part with like sub 1.5 PBs. So it's going to put more emphasis on 19 play and of course on 18 as well. Anyway, thanks all for hanging out. Really appreciate it. $59,000 Jordan, $91,000 Armstrong. All right, Vizamp is here. First time chatter. Thanks, Vizamp. All right, 18 away. From 10,000. Jordan about to bring this down. 72,164 for Armstrong. Hey, everybody, it's your old pal, Vandweller, host of Classic Tetris Monthly, and I'm asking you to do me a favor. If you like this video, hit thumbs up. If you want to see more videos like it, please subscribe and bang that notification bell. And oh no, Jordan is going to top out. Thank you and have a nice day. Oh no. But that means Armstrong is going to survive and move on to the next round. Armstrong comes back. The reverse sweep. Yeah, that is a rough ending for Jordan. I don't really have a dog in the fight as to who wins, but you don't want to see it like that. So GG's to you, Jordan. You did great. Let's get them started here in Classic Tetris Monthly Mega Masters Round 2 Sky Bracket. 3, 2, 1 Tetris. You put your tariffs on me, I'll put my tariffs on myself, and that'll show them. That's right. We're fighting right now. All right, 22,000. We're underway. That's how much a Tetris is worth on 18. On the left side, it is iBall, seed number 28. He received a 1-round bye in virtue of his 28 seed, but still has to win a game to defend that top 32 seeding and make it into the round of 32. Qualified into that 28 seed with a 1.28 average of his best 3 games played in a 90-minute qualifier. That was 1.28 million. And there's really no interesting facts about iBall except he's a Super Mario speedrunner. That's the only thing you need to know. That's it. All right. And Armstrong. No, just kidding. iBall, of course, with a 4.75 million PB, ranked 11th in the most recent Premier poll. Kind of took, I think, a few months off of CTM stuff, but is now back here in Mega Masters as a former Challenger Circuit winner, Future Circuit winner, and played in 2022 Mega Masters and in 2024 Mega Masters, the latter of which he placed in the top 16. He's been in the semifinals twice. It was last year, May and July. And he was in the top 16 of CTWC's championship in 2023, also played in the second online year in 2021. Took second in the Montreal regional. That's right, a Canadian didn't even win the Canadian tournament. Instead, it went to a U.S. American named Tristop. But iBall did pretty well. 200,000 here for iBall, 117 for Armstrong, who is on the right side of the board, who qualified in with a 1.18 million. Defeated Jordan to make it here into round 2 from the USA. Has a PB of 1.38 million. Armstrong played in Mega Masters 2023, won a Future Circuit last year in September, also won a Hopefuls in January of 2023. Played in the last 2 CTWC Gold brackets, also played in the Columbus regionals the last 2 years and in Philly last year. 276 for iBall, 193 for Armstrong. All right, Armstrong with a good bar there to uncover the column 10 Tetris well. Of course, that column 10, that is where you want to put your Tetris well if you're playing 1989 NES Tetris. Because of the way that the pieces spawn, they favor the right side. And so when it comes time to go for Tetrises, well, you want that long bar as close to the well as possible. 272 here for Armstrong, 327 for iBall. iBall with the adjust there. 330 for him, 273 for Armstrong. We got $10,354 in the Mega Masters prize pool. A big chunk of that thanks to our good friend Scott Gray. Thank you so much, Scott. If you want to contribute to the prize pool, you can do it too. If you're watching live, you can use the Matcherino command on Twitch or YouTube, and that'll bring up 2 links. The first one is the one for Mega Masters. If you're watching after the fact, you can go to ctm.gg/ Matcherino. CTM stands for Classic Tetris Monthly. GG stands for, not sure what it really stands for, but could stand for good game, because Tetris is a game. And Matcherino stands for Matcherino, our partner who helps us administer the prize pool, collecting it all, paying it all out. They've been great. 452 for iBall, 410 for Armstrong. Skimming a Tetris for Armstrong, 434. Tetris Armstrong, 482 into 19. Looking for an L piece to tuck in there. Doesn't want to hold out too long, though. All right, now he can find a J piece to tuck in. He's going to miss that S-pin on the right side, but it's still a low board here for Armstrong. It's a tough draw here in round 2. iBall, of course, a top-ranked player. Has been ranked in the premier poll. That is a poll run by Pumpy Heart, where a battery of Tetris broadcasters, journalists, tournament organizers, give you their ranking of the best players in Classic Tetris every single month. iBall has been pretty high in that, although after taking a couple of months off, he's dropped a few spots, but that's just from inactivity. I think I said, was he 11th? I think he was 11th. Something like that. Is that what he was? I don't know. It's late, guys. How am I supposed to know? Yeah, 11th. $716 for iBall. So yeah, 2024 really a year of ascension for iBall, but also a year where you had a lot of stuff going on. Just in the life of a busy student athlete. So not necessarily able to play every single month, but is now back for Mega Masters. $729 for iBall, $693 for Armstrong. Long bar gets over for iBall, $759. $694 for Armstrong. All right, iBall just about done down stacking here. Exposes that right side column 10 Tetris well. Covers it, uncovers it, gets the Tetris. 808 for him. 767 for Armstrong, who's pretty much hanging with iBall here. Although it was a few lines ahead. Tetris for iBall. Armstrong here, though, kind of in a dig that's starting to extend a bit. It's not dangerously high, but it's just those gaps are in the middle of the board, and you just keep covering the same gaps that you're trying to remedy in the process of trying to get rid of them. 819 for Armstrong. That's good. That slowdown's going to allow iBall, who did not slow down at all, to get out to a big lead. 779 iBall, 855 for Armstrong. As we head into the 29 phase, and a hang on the left side for iBall with that L piece, and now he's kind of really dependent board here. Just a couple of lines to go until 29. Armstrong is in at about 898. He's going to hang a bar on the right side. Armstrong. Chasedown target for Armstrong is 988. If Armstrong can get a 988, it's going to be tough on that left side, and no, not going to be able to do it. 50,000 points short. So opportunity there for Armstrong, not able to be converted. iBall not going to give you that many chances on a sub max out kind of score here. 3-2-1 Tetris. Oh, the flip command still exists. Is that right? Why did we use the flip command? We used that for some purpose. Oh yeah, we used it back in the day to determine who got the seed. Got to choose the level selection first. iBall with the VITs being set up, a delayed VITs. But CTM doesn't use it anymore. CTL apparently still uses it, according to Pumpy. The problem is, of course, you give people a little thing like that, a little, chat fidget, they're going to use it. And so they would actually end up timing out the bot. So that was a long time ago. But everyone would just be running flips, for no reason. Like, what? Sometimes it says heads, sometimes it says tails. Like, why is that good? All right, iBall up near the top of the board. And this is pretty tough. Okay. Oh, no, he cannot get the rotation on that J to the left. So iBall still fighting. That's going to be a top out for iBall at 53,000. And this time Armstrong is ahead. So Armstrong will take game number 2 and tie up this match. Three, two, one, Tetris. If I've missed anything on YouTube, I apologize. My unified chat is kind of not great right now. And the actual YouTube live page is kind of a nightmare. It is a resource hog, so sometimes I'm missing stuff on YouTube. My apologies. iBall, of course, a well-known speedrunner in the Super Mario Brothers 1 community. So a speedrunner as a gamer and a speedrunner in life runs track. 70,000 for iBall, 91,000 for Armstrong. Yeah, our players are using some kind of they're using the hostage situation filter. Apparently, they both appear as though they're in some underground bunker. It happens. Yeah, sepia toned. Yeah, they're like some 1897 guy with a big. You guys need like really big handlebar mustaches. $169 Armstrong, $164 iBall. Oh, the Breaking Bad in Mexico filter. True. That is true. $241 now at Tetris for iBall. $264. There's one Armstrong. $285. Armstrong back by only 2 lines and ahead by about 1 Tetris is worth of points. 22,800 is how much a Tetris is worth on level 18. And it's worth 24,000 on level 19. Pretty weird. It's because level 19 is actually the 20th level, and Tetrises are worth the level times 1,200, and level 19 is actually the 20th level. 334 for Armstrong, 333 for iBall. Yeah, can you guys not? Are you guys really spamming the flip command in the server? Like, for real? Like, don't do that. Why are you guys doing this? Many disappointments from your old pal Vandweller today. 403 Armstrong, 378 for iBall. 427 iBall, 450 for Armstrong. All right, about 25 lines to go until that level 19 transition. That is a speed increase. The colors of the pieces will change. The level will start incrementing every 10 lines. Scoring becomes more valuable every 10 lines. All right, 522 for iBall. Longbar gets over Tetris, 545. 568 for Armstrong, who's been maintaining about a one Tetris lead for a few dozen lines now. You remember the bot breaking because of all the coin flips, yeah. All right, nice little S-spin for Armstrong, just in time for 19. Now just looking for that one. Longbar gets it, 619 into 19 for Armstrong. Big pace. iBall back again. Yeah, by about a Tetris. Something like that. There's a Tetris iBall. All right, flat little long bar burn there. Long bar in, Tetris Armstrong, 1 in and 2 in, really, for iBall. So we are pretty neck and neck right now. $737 for iBall, $733 for Armstrong. Now you got to figure with that 4.75 million PB, iBall would have probably an advantage post 29, so both players have that to think about. But so far we have not even hit those levels. Matches have ended, or games have ended a little bit earlier than that. So far has not been a factor. Tetris for iBall, 811. Like flat bar burn for Armstrong. Tetris iBall, 841, 791. Armstrong gets the Tetris, 821. There's been a giveaway from DJ Mr. Borrow. He's gifted a mug to the chat. The one that says a mug should be the CTM mug. So exclamation point join, y'all, if you want to get in there for a mug. Exclamation point join. Thank you so much, DJ Mr. Burrow. That's right. Everyone who types join will get the mug. Can you imagine? No, it's not true. That would be crazy. That would be quite a commitment, Mr. Burrow. Mr. Burrow's heart just skipped a beat. He's like, wait, what? Tetris for iBall, 953. Armstrong's board climbing. This is going to be tough to burn out of this. Oh, no, that is not going to be survivable. Armstrong going to top out 876 on level 27. iBall was already way ahead. And iBall going to take game number 3. Go up 2 games to 1. Exclamation point join, iBall. You can top out right now and join that giveaway. No, you don't want it. You don't want it. You don't want it. 3, 2, 1 Tetris, iBall up. 2 games to 1. Armstrong looking to win another one. Force a game 5. Okay. ILTZI. Oh, Iltzy. Iltzy would be a good game, like combine Tetris and Yahtzee and call it Iltzy. I don't know. Would that be a good game? That's a bad game. I mean, they'll combine Tetris with any game now. Oh, Tetris Operation, Tetris Monopoly, Tetris Jenga, Tetris whatever. Tetris Cards Against Humanity. Tetris Fish. Yeah, Tetris Fish. Can you imagine? Blocks Against Humanity. That would be good. Merchandising. Yeah, that's them. 72. Nobody has watched Spaceballs ever. People are too young. What are you doing? We're combing the desert. Might be my favorite scene. 98,000 for Armstrong. 101 for iBall. You use a Spaceballs clip in your music business class? They must think you're like a million years old. Nobody's seen that. Skimming a Tetris there for Armstrong. I mean, these kids are all zonked out on Skibbity Toilet. You think they're watching Spaceballs? They don't have the attention span for that. All right, couple Tetrises. Oh, my word. That was 3 long bars in a row, presumably for both of them. The giveaway winner announcement. It's Trabus. Trabus, you have won the giveaway. Thank you, Kip Duran. Appreciate that. Very kind of you to contribute that. And congratulations to Trabus. Make sure, winners, that you click the link or go to ctm.wtf/redeem and complete the checkout. The shipping should be covered for U.S. domestic and other places. There are some places where they might ask you to contribute a small amount to it, depending on where you live. But a lot of it's covered. I mean, it's covered if you're in the U.S. and some other countries. Kip Duran with another giveaway. Angry Bear shirt to the chat. Exclamation point join, folks. Angry Bear shirt. That's all right. Listen, you know, you gotta go. They gotta see Spaceballs. It's a good, funny, stupid movie. All right, iBall gonna miss the Vits there, but I don't think it matters too much because the top of that board is just, it needs a lot of help. So I don't know if it matters too much. 279 for iBall, 361 for Armstrong. Exclamation point join, folks. Another shirt has been gifted by Kip Duran. Thanks for the follow, Cat Scarlet. I think we're like 17 more follows away from 10,000, and that will trigger a 10,000 follower stream, I guess I'll do. I guess I'll do that. Will I do that? What's a good starting amount for one of these streams where you, like a good starting number of hours where you do a stream, but people can extend the stream by like bits and subs and stuff like that? What's a good amount to start? 6 hours? 8? 413 for Armstrong, 341 for iBall. 5 minutes. Yeah, do it for 5 minutes. A subathon. And celebration. It's got to be a subathon, you know. I gotta. You know, I gotta keep this thing going. 370 for iBall, 423 for Armstrong. Exclamation point join, folks. Cat Scarlet with the first time chat. See, we should make chatting. You have to follow to chat, and then, you know, those giveaways, people will join the channel. And there it is. 4 hours is a good starting point. I should do 1 hour per subscription. Doesn't that mean I'm working for $3.50 an hour? You got to think of it that way. I mean, no offense. I mean, I love the community, but $3.50 an hour is not. I can go work at In-N-Out. 492 transition into 19 for iBall. The giveaway has been announced, and it's Mino Floof. So congratulations, Mino Floof, and thanks again, Kip Duran. Appreciate that. How much am I working for now? I try not to calculate it. It's too depressing. Armstrong gonna miss with that bar to the right, but gets another one to bring this down. And another one for the Tetris. Cat Scarlet with the 100 bits. Just, followed the channel. First time chat. Coming in hot with 100 bits. Thank you, Scarlet. Appreciate that. 609 for iBall. 654 for Armstrong. Oh, that's like a birthday gift to Trabus. So congrats, Trabus. Armstrong 682. Pumpy Heart cheered with the 101, trying to start an escalating bit war. Oh my God. You going to let Pumpy Heart get away with that? Being the bits leader with 101. Ben Squirrely with the 102. Thank you, Ben Squirrely. Ben Squirrely now is the best person in Tetris. Thank you, Squirrely. 697 for iBall. Tetris Armstrong really going hard here. 773. Jade Hart with the 103. Now Jade Hart is the champion of Tetris. Lex Diskia with the 3 bits. That is not going to take it, but it's appreciated. Jade Hart, you are now the best person in Tetris. 837 for Armstrong. 790 for iBall. And that's a permanent title, guys. Permanent title. Whoever wins this bit war will permanently be the best person in Tetris. Okay, iBall, got to pay attention. Oh, gonna slot that long bar right in with the 4-tap there into column 2. Gonna hang a bar, and iBall having some adventures with these bars. That's for sure. 926 now, iBall in the lead. 886 for Armstrong, who's got a spire of S's nodding up the board. Jay in the window with the 30 bits. Thank you, Jay in the window, for those 30 bits. That's not going to be enough to take the lead in the best person in Tetris contest, but it's pretty good. Armstrong with a split double, getting long bars over. Say the line. I never got to finish Say the Line because Small Jordan was topping out, and you can't just blather on with that thing while someone's topping out. A45 for iBall. Armstrong 1 line away from 29. Decent board here. Gets a Tetris A12. A48 for iBall. iBall's board kind of in trouble here. A56 for iBall. Gonna top out, and Armstrong tops out at A20. So iBall does just enough to hang on. That's true, Jay. Then check the monthly leaderboard. That's true. iBall, you have taken this one. Dylan Armstrong, you have run into a very tough player and performed quite admirably, maxing out here into 29. iBall, though, you will be the one moving on to the round of 32. Armstrong, GG's to you. iBall has earned the privilege of playing against Fractal, who is, back really in full form, playing well. Hey everybody, this is your old pal Vandweller, host of Classic Tetris Monthly, and I'm asking you to do me a favor. If you like this video, hit thumbs up. If you want to see more videos like it, please subscribe and bang that notification bell. And follow us on Twitch at twitch.tv/monthlytetris. Thank you, and have a nice day.